everyone and welcome. This is Dawn. I'm back with another video for you. Today I'll be using the Whimsy Stamps Scallop 6 die and I'll be pairing it up with the Slimline Birthday Scalloped die. So let's get started. First I'm going to pick the background I want from the Slimline Taffy paper pack. Then I'm going to die cut the Scallop 6 die and the Scallop border die from a piece of doll pink cardstock. I will only be using the little scalloped rectangles and the center rectangles. I will save the outer frame for another card. Next, I'm going to die cut two more of the Slimline scallop borders from white cardstock. And then using the Whimsy Stamps bold ABC die, I cut out the word happy from black cardstock. So now that I have all of my pieces, I'm going to assemble the card. First, I cut one of the rectangles because I want to make a white border stick out from under the pink border. So I cut all four corners where they meet in a straight line. I glue each section so it's a little off center so you can see a little bit of the white border sticking out underneath the pink border. I lay one piece at a time down and make sure they all stick out the same amount equally. And then I glue the second white border over the other one we just glued on. This will give it more strength and make the frame more durable and give it more of a dimensional look. Now I need to trim down the taffy paper background so it fits behind the border. I trim it down to 3 3/8 by 8 2/8 inches, but I trim a little bit off each side only because I was trying to keep the design in a certain spot. I glue the scallop border onto the piece of pattern paper. Next, I decided I wanted to add some white sticking out from underneath the pink rectangle scallop borders. So I ran the Scallop 6 border die through my die cut machine with some white cardstock. Then I glue the white borders a little bit off center so they're sticking out a little bit behind the pink borders. Once I have all my borders done, I lay them out where I want them to go on the card. Next, I want to heat emboss the word birthday onto a piece of black cardstock. I prep my paper with my embossing powder bag, and then using the Whimsy Stamps Best stamp set, I stamp the sentiment birthday with Versamark ink. I pour silver embossing powder, and when my heat tool is good and hot, I heat emboss the sentiment. Then I die cut the sentiment out with the oval quick strip die, and to keep with the theme I decided to cut out a white oval strip and adhere it to the back of the black oval strip, and I glue it a little off center so some white is showing. I'm going to finish assembling the card. I glue all of these scallop frames onto the pattern paper in the spots where I laid them out. They kind of all overlap each other and I made them so they're a little crooked on the card. As I'm gluing the frames down, I also glue the rectangles in the center of all the frames. I start to put the letters in the middle of the frames. I glue the H in the first rectangle and I glue the A in the second rectangle. And then I put the P in the third rectangle, and at this point I looked at the card and I felt like it was just missing something. I didn't think the pink scallop borders on the small rectangles really did anything for the card, so I decided I wanted to have some white rectangles instead. So I went and die cut another set of the Scallop 6 die in white cardstock. I did have to take the card apart a little bit, but it wasn't that difficult to do. Then I just glued everything back down. Now, if you wanted to skip the part where I glued the white borders to the back of the pink border, you can, since it serves no purpose now that I'm putting the white borders on top. But if you like the pink border, you can still do that step. Then I just glue the remaining letters onto the card. I put foam tape onto the back of the sentiment and adhere it to the card. Next, I cut a piece of white cardstock to 8.5 by 7, and then I scored it at 3.5 inches. Then I cut it down to fit the card front, and I adhere the card front to the card base. To finish off the card, I adhered gems to each side of the word birthday. That completes my card for today. I want to thank you for joining me on the Whimsy Stamps YouTube channel. Be sure to subscribe to the Whimsy Stamps channel and their other social media platforms so you don't miss out on any upcoming releases and great inspirational videos. Also, check out their website for their entire new release. Thanks for stopping by and have yourself a wonderful day.